I was talking to my friend Craig from Not Another Retro Channel, and he was telling me that he is getting into the real Ghostbusters line. Well, I figured it'd be nice if I showed Craig and everybody my real Ghostbusters collection. Let's check it out. So, this is not the original license plate for the Ecto 1. I actually copied this on a printer, and this is license plate from the first movie. This is the original Ecto 1 from the real Ghostbusters line. So let's spin around, and you can see the Ghostbusters logo. And keep on spinning. It's got the back door, another logo. Keep spinning. Of course, it's missing the door, but I could care less. It's also missing the chair on the top, but I'm not concerned about that because I don't have enough room on the shelf that I put this on, and I actually have a figure that sits on the top of it. So once again, there's the Ecto 1 from all sides. And I did something special to the back too. I put the Ecto 1A license plate on the back, and the Ecto 1A is actually the license plate from the second Ghostbusters movie. I don't know if you can see it, but it actually has the Statue of Liberty on it. And so I figured, why not incorporate both Ghostbusters movies with the Ecto 1 that I have and incorporate it. So next up, we're going to have so here's the Ecto 1. Next up, we're going to have a look at the figures that I have. So first up, we have Winston Zedmore, and this is actually the Fright feature Winston. You press his arm and his head spins around. And of course, we all know Winston was played by Ernie Hudson. I'm not sure who was played by in the cartoon, but this is Winston Zedmore. Next up, we have Ray Stantz, another Fright feature Ghostbuster. And I love all these figures for the simple fact of you press his arm and he goes, whoa! So there's Ray from the real Ghostbusters. And stand up, Ray. Come on, Ray. There we go. Ray. Next up, we have the Fright feature Egon and the color changing suit Egon. And up next, we have Dr. Peter Venkman. So let's have a look at Peter Venkman all the way around. And he's another one of the scare features. And taking this a little bit slower because I don't want him to fall like Ray did. And his scare feature is if he sees a ghost, he goes, ghost! So there's Dr. Peter Venkman. Dr. Peter Venkman. He's got PhDs in psychology and parapsychology, so that's what kind of doctor he is. Next up, we have Janine Melnitz from Dr. Peter Venkman's staff. So, so there's Janine. And if her feature were to work, you would touch this arm and her hair would fly up. It's very fickle in working. And the last actual Ghostbuster that we have is none other than the man, the myth, and the legend, Louis Tully. That's right, Louis Tully, who probably has more heart than all the Ghostbusters combined. Louis Tully. Louis also has a really cool ghost catcher. This is one form that he can use to catch the ghosts. So here's how Louis's ghost trap works. You press the button in the back, button. You press the little springs in the back, and it traps the ghost. And you have a ghost. And here's Louis on the other way that you can put him on to this ghost trap, and he can actually stand up on it, which is pretty cool. So we've taken a look at the Ghostbusters themselves. Now let's take a look at the ghosts, shall we? First up, we have Granny Gross. And Granny Gross is one of many scare ghosts in the Ghostbusters line. And her feature, you twist her hat and she becomes a scary ghost. But it might be too frightening for everybody, so I don't know if I'm going to show her. Hey, look, everybody, it's Granny Gross. And then we have another ghost. And a squid octopus ghost. And another ghost. And another ghost. And the last actual small ghost. So these are some of the ghosts that came with some of the Ghostbusters. And these are the ghosts that they would chase and bust. So that's all fun. So now we're going to have a look at some of the Universal monsters in the classic Ghostbusters line. So first up we have Dracula, or Count Dracula. Blah, blah, blah. I know it's super cliche, but you know, whatever. Dracula. So next up we have Frankenstein. Okay, so once again we are looking at Frankenstein, and the voice that you just heard was my nephew, who's being super quiet over there. Yes, that's my nephew's hand. Hi, nephew hand. He is deciding to be super quiet because he's super awesome. And then the next figure that we're going to have a look at is this fella. Yeah. He's another Universal monster figure. So next up, we're having a look at the Wolfman. And my nephew thinks that the Wolfman is not real, but I think that he is. She-Hulk, you think he's real?
I definitely think he's real.
All right.
Not me.
Oh, see, once again, my nephew thinks he's not real. But my nephew also knows that he has to be quiet, so you're not going to hear from him again. So there's the Wolfman. So up next, we have the Mummy. And he's all wrapped up right now, so he really can't be interviewed. But it's the Mummy from the Universal Monsters line. And then we have the Hunchback. And this is the last figure that they made in the Universal Monsters line for Ghostbusters. And now we're going to show you what I think is the greatest Ghostbusters ghost ever made. Fearsome Flush. This has got to be the greatest Ghostbuster figure ever made in the history of everything. Yes, that's right. Why they didn't have him in the movie, I don't know. But this figure is the greatest figure Ghostbusters ever made. Fearsome Flush. So today we were having a look at my Ghostbusters collection. And this is going to be an ongoing thing this year, to where I take my collections and I dust them off. I show my whole collection. So this is my collection of the Ghostbusters, the Kenner Ghostbusters. And that is my nephew's hand, who is the biggest ghost, who I told not to touch anything, but the ghost just couldn't help himself.
Sorry.
So let's see. We've got all those. We've got the Ecto 1. We've got all those in there. And I've got the Firehouse, but it would have been too much work to take off all of those movie figures, so I didn't even bother with them. So here's all my Ghostbusters figures. Tell me what you thought. Leave a like and subscribe, and leave a couple of comments. And we will see you guys later. Uber Hulk is out. Bye.